Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live screen and podcast. Touch of this.
Friday, it's a Friday feeling. I'm a feeling Friday.
Woo!
Woo! Woo!
Excellent. I got my fill my cup message this morning, and I urge you to do the same. I think Phil does a free week before you sign up. Oh, it's a brilliant way to start the day with his lovely Phil Cookland voice. It's a Friday feeling. Can't get down there that low as Phil, but yeah, what a brilliant way to start the day. Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much indeed. It is indeed a Friday feel-good feeling. And you saw my two buddies on the screen there. It's been a while. Bobby O'Reilly hasn't been on our screen for a little while. He's joining us this morning, as is Michael Heron. Do you remember him? Heronius Maximus is joining us from Spain this morning, both with big news. Some nice way to conclude the week and the month. In fact, it's the 31st of January today. We made it through January. Interesting. We're a 12th of the way through 2025 already. It's incredible, isn't it? And well done, everybody. If you've been doing dry January or anything, or your resolutions or anything that has meant you are enjoying the end of the month, you're proud of what you've done, but you're glad it's the 31st and nearly February. Well done to you. Talking of dry Januaries, I'm trying to find our slide. This is what we're going to be doing on Monday. That'll be the 3rd of February by the time we get to Monday. And we've already done Madeira, it turns out. We were thinking of that. We've drunk a lot of Portuguese booze. And Garvo suggested we might do Madeira. And we'd already done that. We'd mixed it up with espumante. I don't know if in the same glass. I can't remember. But another idea came in because we've already done the Madeira, and it's single grape bottles of wine. And as I was creating this slide, I was thinking to myself, a single grape for under 10 euros, that's going to sound very expensive, basically, to anybody who might not understand what that means. And I didn't understand what that meant before I started studying Portuguese wine. Most Portuguese wines are blended, various grapes in the one bottle. And I think there's is it a snobbery? It seemed to, I suppose it's the more artful end of winemaking might be to make a good wine from a single grape. There's a sense of purity about that. And talking of purity, Portugal, in the news this morning, I'm going to tell you about Portugal winning a prize for a best bread in the world, a particular kind of bread. I mean, that is a big bracket, isn't it? Best bread in the world. But we'll come back to purity and organic bread and Portugal scooping a prize. What we're going to look for to taste on Monday is a single grape varietal then, just using one type of grape in the wine. That does happen here in Portugal. It's more common to blend with various types of grapes, which I think must be easier for a winemaker to balance things up with different qualities of different grapes. But to make a good wine with one particular grape, I'm guessing is more difficult and probably more expensive. So we've got a ceiling of 10 euros, and we're going to go for a single grape and try that on Monday. Now, we're doing this one hell of a big grape. Shirley, don't call me Shirley. Variety may be more accurate description unless you have Augustus Gloop. What? Yeah, so 10 euros the ceiling. Probably won't need to spend that much, to be fair, here in Portugal. A single grape wines, red or white, whatever you want to choose. Probably easier with red, I'm suspecting, here in Portugal. Yeah, the single grape and under a tenner. Join us at 8 o'clock as part of the new lineup of weekly meetings. 8 o'clock on Monday then for that. And at 8:30, we'll go lock-in, and Peter will be able to tell you all about that. We will taste the wines as a live stream, the Wine Ninjas. And if you're new to it and you want to join us, please do. And then at 8:30, we stop the live stream. This is what my plan anyway. We'll stop the live stream after all tasting and talking, and then we'll have a private Google meeting hangout and continue to drink and talk nonsense for the rest of the evening. So if you like wine, if you like coffee and wine, You're in the right country. I thought this meme was quite funny as well. But join us on Monday for the Portugal Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, single variety wines under a tenner. We'll be trying those live on air between 8 and 8:30, and then a lock-in at 8:30, where we'll continue to drink and talk and have some fun, as we've been doing since 2020. Can you believe it? Amazing. It's been going since the lockdown. It was a perfect response to being locked in their homes, and we really got to know each other and bond. The wine ninjas, really lovely to this day, very closely bonded. Right, let's get on with the Bom Dia Daily then. News, weather, language and culture, and well-being here in Portugal. And the first thing I want to go to is another prize. Well done, Portugal. Another world prize, punching way above our weight in terms of population. Isn't it amazing? This tiny country, really. Getting on for 11 million inhabitants, and scooping all these lovely awards. Another one, well-being news, another award, topping another table. Well, in the top 3 anyway. This is thank you to Portugal Business News, who we haven't featured before, covering this. I did see snippets of this on social media, and on social media, the the obligatory image is always the lady with the massive what am I going to say, with the massive loaves of bread in the back, in the foreground. And I'm thinking to myself, well, actually, that looks like the prize for the largest bread as well in the world. The way this photograph is made with the perspective. You see what I mean? You've seen that picture before, haven't you, with the lady at the bottom there? Massive loaves of bread that take 3 old ladies, presumably, to lift them across to the bakery. And it was reported in the Portuguese American Journal. Actually, it's a bit more news there. There is in the Portugal Business News. Portugal Business News says Portugal won the prize for the best organic bread in the world at the World Bakery Championship in Italy. Now, you're up against stiff competition, are you not, when you go to Italy and you're talking about food and you're competing on food? Italians, I think, among a few nationalities who understandably claim to have the best food in the world. Portugal has the best organic and nutritional bread in the world. So it's not just organic, it's nutritional as well. Often those two go together, don't they? Cue Peter knit your own muesli jokes coming up, vegetarian jokes, and a bit of vegan bashing from Peter as well, if he's had a few coffees this morning. Look at this, a member on YouTube for 23 months. Thank you very much, T-Duck. Yeah, 22 plus 1 right there. Yes, incredible. Thank you for your support, T-Duck, in that department and in others as well. Yeah, the CGEP Championship. Yes, not any old championship. The CGEP, the Feira Internacional de Padaria, Pasteleria y Gelado. So they were up against Italians on ice cream as well. Gelati, is that right? Distinguish the Padaria Dias Bakery with the award of the best organic and nutritional bread in the world, no less. According to the celebrity bakers, the Portuguese bread contains the flavors of the Serra da Estrela. That's some yellow snow, isn't it? Thus obtaining the name Rosa Negra, meaning black rose. That is the name of one of the most iconic regions of the Serra da Estrela mountain range in central Portugal. Until this moment, I didn't realize or know that. Black rose, a niche in the Serra da Estrela mountains there. So well done to the Padaria Dias. Maybe there's a bit more information on Portuguese American Journal on social media. Look, and Jackie, also a member for 12. That flew by, didn't it, Jackie? Wow. Crikey. All right, thank you very much, Jackie, as well. Portugal has the best organic bread in the world made. Oh, and if you are a member on YouTube, and I haven't made you a member of the Portugal Club as well, do let me know. You should be able to get into gmpvip.com by virtue of being a supporter over on YouTube as well. So thanks, T-Duck and Jackie on that. Portugal has the best organic bread in the world, as we've just discovered. The International Baking Competition, typically referred to as Bread in the City, Bakery World Cup, is one of the most prestigious global baking competitions as part of that ice cream and patisserie world competition. The artisan, gelato, pastry, chocolate, bakery, and coffee industries. Okay, so it's an industry prize. The championship attracts top-tier professionals excuse me, and showcases innovative techniques, trends, and artistry in the bakery world. CGEP is held annually in January it's in Rimini Expo Centre, and attracts professionals from all over the world. So well done, Padaria Dias, for winning that prize there. Should we have a look at some weather now? I need to remove those things from the screen there. Thank you as well, Portuguese American Journal as well on that reporting. Not something I've seen anywhere else, actually, which is quite often the case, isn't it? Portugal scooping prizes all over. Oh, let's do this quickly as well. Well-being then. The best countries for a comfortable retirement. Number 3. And we're not surprised, are we, now? We're quite used to it, seeing these sorts of prizes. What's also interesting is to see who else figures in here. Finland. I mean, who'd have thought? Retire to Finland for a comfortable retirement. I really like this. Walter Duval. It is a Facebook public post, so I feel okay sharing it here in the public domain as well. This is how not cynical, but how laissez-faire, and we're just so over it, aren't we? Winning prizes around the world as Portugal. Best countries for a comfortable retirement, according to someone, in brackets. Switzerland is first. I don't think I've seen that before. Switzerland first, New Zealand second. That's understandable, isn't it? And Australia all figuring in the top 5. Spain at number 5, Australia at number 4, and Portugal at number 3. And then we have Canada, Denmark, the Netherlands, Sweden, Luxembourg, Finland. Haven't figured on Finland. Has anyone considered Finland for retirement who might be watching? Thailand, you can understand, at 17, can't you? Belgium at 18. Mexico and Panama at 19 and 20. They're often top suspects, aren't they, for retirement? I imagine I might retire myself at some point in my life to France at 21, Philippines 22, Costa Rica 23, United Kingdom, people retiring to the United Kingdom, not just people from the United Kingdom. 24, Cyprus at 25, Iceland, Malaysia, Dominican Republic, nice place to retire. Singapore, got a few bob to retire in Singapore. 29, United States, retiring to the United States. Number 30, Germany at 31, Brazil at 32, Turkey, Japan, Indonesia, Vietnam, Croatia, and finally Poland there. But number 3, that's Portugal. So well done. A great place to come and enjoy a retirement. Portugal. I'm planning a tour. Okay. Talk of Italy and Switzerland in the chat then. Pam, planning a tour of Italy next year. I've never been there, although my brother lives there. I've enjoyed my couple of visits to Italy. T-Duck also. I think James wants to get over to Italy, likes Italy, doesn't he? And there's a new edition of The Old Guy in Europe just published. He published it. I got a WhatsApp message and then it disappeared. I think it's the moving episode, everybody, because, of course, he told us about the plans to move finally from Ericeira up to Espinho. I've been to Rimini, says T-Duck. We took the train there from Florence when we visited San Marino. That sounds nice, doesn't it? And Pam, a visit to Lisbon, day out in Lisbon yesterday. Where are you? Where have you gone? There you are. Hello. We had a day out in Lisbon yesterday. Couldn't listen in as the show no longer fits in with the bus journey times. Well, we'll have to speak to the bus company about that, won't we? And thank you for your introduction to Emma. Really nice talking to Emma earlier this week. And you say you went on a boat trip on the river. It was lovely. We were lucky with the weather yesterday in the capital. That's great. And surely Switzerland is only at the top since Elon revealed that he and his Austrian friends have hidden their gold here. Let's try. I mean, it's quite a good guess as well, isn't it? In Switzerland. Oh, I see. That's a layer upon layer of jokes and digs at Elon Musk there, I think, Peter. All right. So Coach Turner was in, one of our well-being captains, and I'm sure we'll have another new video from Coach Turner soon, and they'll go into the growing old disgracefully the God Squad resources at the Portugal club. Bon dia, Gumpers. If Feliz Sexta, congratulate yourselves. You've reached Friday. A bit soggy here in Hertfordshire, but need some exercise. So an umbrella-aided walk, not as a walking stick, I suspect. Although I can see you as Steed from the Avengers for coffee is on the cards. Don't forget the bowler hat as well. And it's a bon dia from Seville in Spain. I can't remember where Heronius Maximus, where Michael Heron will be calling us from in Spain, but he'll tell us when he gets here. So, Iberian business this morning, and the idea of an Iberian phone is back on the table, thanks to Michael. He'll be with us in about 5 minutes. Looking forward to chatting with him, and I think you'll find his idea exciting, as I do. JP, bon dia. JP in Porto, hello to you. That's clearly Porto in your YouTube or your Google picture there. Thank you very much, JP, for being with us. And it was a bon dia gumpers from Jackie, early doors, and a bon dia gumpers from T-Duck as well. I'm hearing, not seeing, as I just got up and needed a cuppa. So I could make a rude gesture at Jackie now, and she will not see it, although she probably is looking at her screen now in anticipation of that. Going back to Italy, we spent 2 weeks in Venice more than 20 years ago. Definitely visit the other islands like Murano and... Oh, Murano, that's where the glass is, isn't it? And San Michele as well. I love Italy, says T-Duck. My favorite country to visit in Europe, but I wouldn't want to live there. Too crazy for me. And I'm an Italiano as well. What's this? You'll love the food, Pete is telling you, Pam. You'll love it in you'll love it anyway in Italy. Can I recommend hiring a boat in Venice, either for the day or for a week? Such a beautiful city by boat. I can hear music. Talking of Venice and the waterways as well. And I don't know why, but I just feel a craving for a cornetto suddenly as well. Bon dia, says James. Bon dia, Gambas. Feliz sexta todos, como va? So, yeah, what's going on with this new edition of the Old Guy in Europe? Bobby O'Reilly limbering up. O'Reilly returns at 8:40 with some amazing news this morning. And Hugh, good morning to you. Hugh in Visu is with us this morning. Good to see you, Hugh. Love to you and Jane. Right, let's have a look at that weather, shall we? We've congratulated Bobby. I don't know if you saw that, but Portugal, Bobby has a background in the bakery. Portugal wins a prize for best organic and nutritional bread there, a world prize, Bobby, that you might be proud of Portugal for. Let's go to the Portugal news then for a bit of weather coverage this morning. They've got a nice summary of the weather we can look forward to over the weekend. A nice little, potted view of the weather. The Portugal news. I've been really enjoying doing my news snippets on the Expats Portugal Town Hall. Last night, I mentioned the 17-meter wave that was recorded. That's nearly 56 feet. If you're waxing your board as we speak, come on over to Nazaré. Who doesn't like to wax their board first thing in the morning? I can see Michael Heron smiling in the green room already. It's just like a warm pair of slippers, isn't it, Michael, being back here? Yes, 56-foot wave recorded in Nazaré, and other news snippets, including to spoon or not to spoon last night. This culture story is running and running, and I've managed to write one of my favorite headlines ever for the Portugal Resident. How do you nosh your nata? So enjoy. Boom! So, yes, who doesn't like to nosh a nata first thing in the morning as well? Jane says, good morning to you as well. I don't think Michael's going to be able to speak by the time he gets onto the screen in a couple of minutes. Let's have a look at that weather from the Portugal news then. It's going to be like this, Michael, if this idea that you're going to talk about, if we pull it off... Who doesn't like to pull it off first thing in the morning? Lisbon, Saturday is to be mainly dry with prolonged periods of sunshine and highs of 16 degrees. On Sunday, some light showers are forecast with highs of 15 degrees and lows of 9 degrees. Monday is to be dry and bright. And from Tuesday, some light cloud cover is expected with an average high of 15 degrees. So I think we've still got some rain to look forward to, as it were, but a break in the rain and wind as well. Wet and windy, and the weather's not too great either. The north, the dry weather is to continue on Saturday with highs of 18 degrees in the north, lows of 2. On Sunday, a wet and grey day is forecast with highs of 14 degrees. Sounds like Saturday is the day to get out and about. Monday is going to be sunny in the north with highs of 17, lows of 2. Rest of the week is to remain dry up there in the north next week. The central Portugal, mild days are to continue on Saturday with imminent cloud cover and highs of 15 degrees. On Sunday, going to be overcast with a chance of rain and highs of 12 degrees as well. Monday is to be sunny and bright with highs of 13, lows of 4. From Tuesday in central, bright and dry. The south, prolonged periods of cloud cover are forecast for Saturday. When temperatures are going to peak at 17. On Sunday, chance of rain, temperatures peaking at 16. Monday, chance of rain is to drop, and the rest of the week we'll see average highs of 18. So a dry week in the south as well from Monday. Madeira, heavy cloud cover with sunny periods forecast over the weekend, with temperatures peaking at highs of 21 in Madeira and dropping to lows of 16, a low of 16, if only here on the Silver Coast. From Tuesday, cloud cover to lessen slightly and temperatures to drop. Highs of 19 in Madeira. And the Açores finally. Thank you, Portugal News, for this. Heavy showers expected on Saturday, tomorrow, but these are to ease on Sunday when the temperatures are to reach highs of 18 degrees. From Monday, the rain is to return in the Açores and will remain for the rest of the week. So a wet week in prospect for the Azores. The Azores, right. Let me just make sure I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Michael Heron, Heronius Maximus, back and joining us live from Spain. I think that's all the pictures I wanted to share with you. Oh, one quickie actually. There is a crowd. This is the daily deal today, actually. If you like the 8,000 kicks shoes made of hemp, you can't smoke them. We did cover that. That's how the idea started. A shoe you could smoke, but they are hemp shoes, and they're doing a Kickstarter. See what they did there. Kickstarter. It's a trainer company, shoe company. I've got a wallet as well made of hemp. Meet the Trekker, a stylish waterproof sneaker. Now I quite like these because they look like a trekking shoe, quite good for rough terrain. If I'm going to go out walking with the dogs, they're going to retail at 165, and you can get them if you go for the early bird Kickstarter special. You can get $66 off. They're doing a dollar price. That's interesting. The ultimate waterproof travel shoe are coming to Kickstarter, so you can get them at the early bird price. I think that's and they'll be released in February. And I've got a link for that if you want to know more. Let me just very, very quickly. Sorry, Michael, to keep you, but I just want to show the page where we've got I've got a runny nose. Can't believe it. Blimmin' heck, I'm going to hide behind the microphone until I get a chance to, to wipe my face. Right, okay. This is 8,000 kicks. And if I take that off the screen, you'll be able to see it. We're going to be starting with proper Good Morning Portugal programming with Michael in just a moment. But yeah, there they are. That is that's counting down then. 18 days, just over 18 days. You can get the $99 price. I like that shoe. Powered by hemp, it says on the side, and it's got their nice and easy step in design. You see that? Isn't that great? Step in system, fully waterproof. Go swimming in those and kick water like that. They're vegan and sustainable. Unseen shoe comfort. I don't know what that means, but what I love so much is how here the founder Bernardo works with his grandmother on this, Otilia, with over 50 years experience in textiles, a responsibly sourced production facility in China where people are averaging a salary of $700 to $750, and a fourth generation factory finishing. I think this is a finishing that takes place here in Portugal. So well done, 8,000 kicks. Brilliant stuff. Good luck with that Kickstarter there. I'll put the link in the chat in just a moment for that. But let's welcome a dear mate of ours. Where's this? Where's my sound? I need to give him a big round of applause. He cannot join us. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong here. He cannot join us on the screen without a warm hand on his opening. Here he is. Michael Heron, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm really well, buddy. How are you? Good morning, everyone. Bom dia alegria a todos.
Good. Bom dia alegria a todos. Very good. Nice to see you. Not in Portugal, though, I understand. And that's what we're going to be talking about this morning, isn't it? So tell us.
Right. I'm live from Madrid this morning, where we haven't got as much warmth as you guys in Portugal, but it's been really sunny. But we've had like 2 weeks of rain.
Right.
But yeah, it's beautiful and lovely to be back on the show, mate. How long has it been? It's been ages, right?
It has been a long time, and this might be the tide might be coming back in, right? We might be seeing more of each other. We've been chatting about an idea. Now, I'd like you to talk about it rather than me mess it up or speak of it incorrectly. What's been on your mind? What's been happening with you, and what's been on your mind? What do you want to share with us this morning?
Yeah, well, basically, first of all, apologies that you haven't seen me for so long, and that is no fault of Carl's at all. It is completely my fault. Basically, I made the decision last year to relocate to Madrid for personal reasons, but mainly because apart from my children who are in Portugal, all my family are in Madrid. my mother, her sisters, all my cousins, uncles, and everything. And I've been in Portugal for 10 years. It was a really difficult decision, but it was also related to the fact that I'd suffered a little bit of burnout, which I've never, thought was a real thing before, to be honest, whenever people talk about burnout. But having experienced it myself, having run a business for over 8 years, I can say it's a real thing. I have no problem or, in talking about it and discussing it, because I'm sure there'll be other people who have experienced it before. But feeling fantastic now. And I'm just in the process of getting my my residency here in Madrid finalized. But which is great, to go through that bureaucratic process all over again, right? Having done it 10 years ago to get to Portugal.
What is it like there? How would you pitch it or speak of the process in Spain?
Something that I can share. Not that I want to steal any of your viewers or residents from Portugal to Spain, but this is sort of in general for anyone living in Europe who maybe has moved from the UK to a European country and has lived in another European country for 10 years and hasn't got Portuguese or French or German nationality. If you've been living in a country for 10 years, you can apply for what's called like a long-term European residency, and you can get residency in another country in the EU quite easily. Yeah. So that's
on account of being in Portugal for a while.
For 10 years, yeah. So because I hadn't become a Portuguese national yet, because that process, as you know, is taking so long, and because of Brexit, being from the UK and having a British passport, we kind of got, let's just say, it was an interesting experience for us, right? Dealing with all of that. Yeah, exactly. Having to change our residence cards and all that. But here it was very straightforward, purely because I'd lived in Portugal or an EU country for 10 years. But the news that I wanted to share with you guys and Carl as well is that we've had the idea that I'll be doing a similar show to what Carl does in Portugal, but called Good Morning Spain. And because I'm a complete novice when it comes to podcasting, Carl is going to help me throughout the entire process of setting it up, from how to get the right equipment, what streaming software to use, how to structure the show and everything. And we're going to document it and vlog it so that if anyone else out there is interested in doing their own show, then Carl will be able to help them do it if they're interested. So that's basically it, right? Was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, that's absolutely spot on. When we first were talking about the idea, look, on the second Monday now, we will have a live streaming and podcasting club for anyone who wants to set up and join others on YouTube and various podcasting platforms and get their own thing going. I mean, it's part of moving to Portugal. If you move to Portugal, I think the government are saying you have to start a YouTube channel now. So we can. I met some Americans the other day, Michael, who aren't starting a YouTube channel. I nearly fell over. I nearly fell off my chair. Yeah. Wow. But we want to help with that. We're going to have.
Is that something that do you like that? Do you welcome it, or are you kind of a bit like the old school? Because you're the old guard. You've been doing it for longer. You kind of like, I don't like the competition. They don't deserve it. They haven't earned it as much as me.
You're like Facebook listening into my private conversations. That was an uncanny impersonation. No, I welcome it all. I mean, the problem is now, it's not that people are sharing it's not all joys, is it? A lot of them are moany, and sadly, those are the ones that get the attention. The clickbait goes to the gloom and doom.
Okay, fair enough.
But the main problem is how do you navigate the amount of content? This is an extraordinary situation we find ourselves in. I think is that it's great that people are able to create and have access to tools that only professionals and time-served broadcasters had years ago. I think it's really great the democratization, disintermediation of the media. It's really a really good thing that's happening. But then that means there's so much material online, and that becomes a different job, an extra job to discern and work your way through all that sort of stuff. And we're going to add to it, Michael.
Well, the thing is, we're going to add to it. But the thing is, though, I think because of your professional broadcasting background, you kind of like, if I can say this, if this is fair to you, and please feel free to like completely counter what I'm saying here, but my perception of you has been that from the very beginning, you may not have had the beautiful setup that you've got now and all the infrastructure, but you always did it in the way you wanted to do it, in terms of it being a live show and building a community, right? And I think that's where you differ from everybody else, because doing it live means that you get to interact with your audience, and I think it offers far more value than doing a pre-record podcast where people can ask questions live to your guests and to you. And also, I think for me, actually, if I'm ever going to do anything in Spain, which I am, doing a couple of shows live during the week is a much easier commitment from my perspective than to have to plan a podcast. I mean, I know you've got to plan the shows, but do you know what I mean? You've recorded it, and then that's it. It stays on the YouTube channel. Boom. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
your format, let's hope they don't copy that as well, right? But your format, I think, is what differentiates you, because you have the community, you have the Gumpers, and I'm just seeing people in the chat here. Hi, So Life Portugal. I haven't spoken to you for ages. Hope you're well, and it's really nice to. And
Yeah,
it's really nice to see everyone again. So
yes.
this is what you have that people don't have.
Yeah, I think that might be right, and it's more like a radio show, isn't it? It's a breakfast show than it is videos that are made and put up, and can sometimes be quite contrived. I hate feeling like I've been played by a clickbait title. I think we're quite we're quite straightforward. What you see is what you get, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, but for whom it is a nice cup of tea in the morning, it's a lovely thing, and on we go, and you're a really good example of somebody who was involved with the show. And you've been off on your own hero's journey and arc of life, and you're back again. It's really wonderful to welcome you back and to hear of this idea. Boa sorte com isso, says James, loving the idea.
Yeah, James.
And Pete, as you've seen here, that sounds
Pete's
very
a legend,
good.
man.
Good luck with that. And I'm being called the OG.
You are the OG. You are the goat, mate. You are the goat, literally. Yeah.
Of the self-created genre.
You created it, right? Nothing. I don't know, like the Portuguese resident, which you write for now, which is incredible, by the way. I hadn't realised that's now a regular thing for you. So, by the way, if the Portuguese Tourist Board finds out about that headline and sends it back to the UK,
you like that, don't you?
I thought it was fantastic. I mean, what a great way to combine. Let's not talk about it. It's fantastic.
Right. This is more than a community; it's family. So there you go. That's a lovely thing to hear, Jackie, how you experience it. And Nubianet, we've got Nubianet coming in from California. I know more people moving to Spain. Many people living in California already have some Spanish language. So this is a great thing. And look, good to see Michael again. You got fans.
Hi, Paul. Bless him. Well, it's really nice to see everyone. No, but do you know what, guys? What I love about this is that there's so many good things about doing a pan-Iberian show, or at least having part Spanish now as well, because you've got two countries that border the Iberian Peninsula that couldn't be more different in terms of their culture, but complement each other so well. Whether you're someone who's been living in Portugal and perhaps thinking about Spain, or thinking about getting to know Spain better, you've got such easy access to a country which has so much more to offer, just like Portugal, more than Lisbon and Oporto. Spain has far much more to offer than just Madrid and Barcelona. And that's something that I'd love to sort of share with everyone. And also to help the Portuguese community with any people living in Spain or outside of Spain that would watch Spanish content, that might want to watch Carl's content and be interested in moving to Portugal. So I think they can both complement each other. And maybe we can dispel the myth from the Portuguese perspective that no good wind or marriage came from Spain. You never know, right? We can
exacerbate it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are thinking of having a Iberian marriage, we could report on that, couldn't we, Michael? We could track the progress to see, ill winds and bad marriages, if that's true or not. I think you're right. There is a wonderful and it's underutilized or under-acknowledged, the Iberian mass, this huge population with the two countries, and I love the interplay between the two cultures. So it's going to be my pleasure to help you start Good Morning Spain.
Thank you so much, buddy. I'm really excited.
What you're going to call it. And when we were talking before, we were thinking, okay, so the Iberian phone-in can come back, can't it? I can do my show, you can do your show, and then we could do a joint show where we're welcoming people to call in from all over the Iberian Peninsula, which could be hilarious. And we couldn't help but go to North Norfolk Digital, really, could we? And the handover that we might have if we have 2 hours of programming from either side of the Iberian Peninsula. It will be like Partridge handing over to the other fellow, won't it, on the hour?
Partridge. By the way, can I just say something, mate? I've just seen your Carl is a super kid on the shelf behind you. I had one as a child as well. It's a fridge magnet, isn't it? It's a fridge magnet, isn't it?
Yeah, and my dad brought it back from America. It really is an excellent sort of vignette of my dad and how he lived. He didn't take me to America or Disneyland. He went himself and brought me back a fridge magnet. Cheers, Dad.
Oh, mate, bless him. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's not say more about that. Well, he got you a fridge magnet, mate. So that's what
He
counts,
did,
you know?
which I have to this day, and you were able to pick up on it and have a happy memory yourself. Our son studied in Madrid last year,
Oh,
says
fantastic.
Mike. Over in Seville at the moment this morning. Absolutely loved it. He's considering moving to Madrid when he finishes university. This is going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the other thing as well, obviously, you know, for studying, and this, you know, just like in Portugal now with the universities in Lisbon, Porto, Aveiro, just, you know, in Madrid as well, there are more English language, you know, degrees, MBAs, business, masters that you can do. And it's a fantastic, you know, Madrid is a great place to live. I absolutely love it here. So it's like one bag and a passport. So the son studied here.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to work so well, I think. So you're happy with the idea of calling it Good Morning Spain, are you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, absolutely, definitely. Yeah, I think so. Unless anyone has any better suggestions. If anyone has any better suggestions, I'll change it. But I think let's keep it on brand, right?
Yes, it sounds like I'm franchising. I promise
you are franchising, mate. You are franchising. You're going to be like you're going to have a conglomerate where you're going to have like all the countries. It's going to be Good Morning Europe, then Good Morning the world. You know, you're going to take over.
You know what? We could have a Good Morning Italy. And this is uniquely Gumperish, I think. Breaking from T-Duck, 97-year-old Kansas man admits fabricating connection between stepping on cracks and maternal back fractures. That's probably a true story, isn't it? Wow. I'm not sure the budget. So Good Morning Italy, if somebody wants to do that. My daughter could do it in Bologna. I'm not sure the budget will stretch to a week in Venice, thinking of flying into Milan. Then, do you say Milan or Milan? Michael?
Milan, all right. But Pamela, what I can say to you is that the trains in Italy work incredibly well and are very cheap. So that's a great idea to fly into Milan and then get the train down to Venice, Florence. You could get it all the way down to Naples if you wanted to, and then up to Rome. So yeah, that sounds like a brilliant trip.
Check you out. Don't miss Rome, says T-Duck. There's nothing else like
Nothing like it, T-Duck. It's amazing.
Don't go or stay anywhere near the zoo in Rome.
Well, this is what's great about having polarizing opinions, right? It's fantastic.
It's great. Tram jazz. I've not heard of that niche or that speciality. 5-course meal with live jazz music while you visit all the major spots at night. Wow. Okay. And my fondest memories of Rome are a private tour of the Forum with a PhD archaeologist, a night tour of the Colosseum, and the food.
Yeah, we did the night tour. I did the night tour of the Colosseum as well, and the food is unbelievable. And just the city, just the amount of architect. Anyway, we can talk about that. Pamela, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
So when we haven't talked about a start date. So when do you envisage being live, and what else do you want to share about the format, and what might be uniquely Spanish about it?
Yeah, well, I guess what's unique about it is that it will be with me. Not that I'm trying to bang my own trumpet here, but I think I will offer a unique perspective in the sense that I'm from the UK, as you all know, but my mother's Argentine, and all my Argentine family moved to Madrid in '71. So they left one dictatorship, joined another, right, with Franco. But my mother, we can talk about my family history on one of the shows, for sure. And so my mother, she moved to the UK when she met my dad in Scotland in the '70s. So she moved to Madrid when she was 16. And then studied in Madrid, and then moved to the UK. Met my dad, got married to him in Madrid. So they had a service which was done with a vicar from the British Embassy and a Spanish vicar, so they could do the service in both languages. Which I guess was quite sort of trend setting for the '70s, right? And but all the rest of my Argentine family stayed in Madrid, and I've lived in Madrid before and studied here as well. So coming back, it feels like I'm coming back home, but the city has changed so much in the last 10 years since 12 years since I last lived here, actually, 11 years. And it's really exciting to sort of rediscover a city that I've always known since I was, a kid, basically, but it's changed a lot. And this is what I love about anywhere that even if you've grown up somewhere or live somewhere, when you move around and you come back, it does change.
Yes.
And offers you a different perspective. So I think the format will be similar to yours, mate. I mean, in the beginning, it's going to be very light because nobody really appreciates, I don't think, just how much work goes into a show like Carl's. You know, he streams every morning of the week live for 1 hour, and to organise that is no mean feat. So I think realistically for me, 1 or 2 mornings a week would be great as a start. Get interesting guests on and build it from there, and let's see what happens. So not really trying to label it with anything yet, but I think the format that you've sort of trend-setted works phenomenally well. And it'd be great to have some of you guys over there, you know, as well. You're more than welcome to come on that show too.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of self-confessed Iberians here who love Spain, not quite as much as Portugal, but you know, really appreciate Spain and want to know more. So that'll be great.
Oh, there we go. See, we already get competitive there. No, but the thing is, I'm always going to love Portugal because it was my home for 10 years. You know, a decade.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah,
I think that
we can enjoy a little bit of rivalry there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The undercurrent.
Yeah, you're loving it. I can see you grinning already. You're absolutely gonna love it, aren't you?
Bring it on. Bring it on. Rome is exceptional. A lot of love for Rome this morning. I went for the first time this last year. Saw all the major sites, but it was the rest that was most surprising. The bars, the food, the people. I'd go back in a heartbeat. That's amazing, isn't it? And there is only one place where you can hire and pilot your own boat for a day in Venice, and it is cheaper than a gondola to ride. So the Gumpers great, and I'm sure when you start talking about Spain, there'll be lots of to talk about from the Gumpers.
Oh, and don't forget, if you haven't been to Aveiro yet, that is Portugal's, Venice of the north, and it's fantastic. So forget Venice in Italy. Come to Portugal. I'm already selling it for you. I'm already selling it for you.
If you are worried about Venice and it being very full on, you could acclimatise yourself to the waterway life in Aveiro, couldn't you? It's
Absolutely.
A good stuff. And it's as windy as Chicago as well. So if you
rains more as well, but apart from that, it's beautiful.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend in Spain. Really looking forward to this, and we'll give you all the details, of course, for tuning in, and we'll try and do it so there's a link up. We'll go from Good Morning Portugal to Good Morning Spain, and you can hang out with Michael after I've warmed you up, after I've fluffed.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it. See, they're already connected, man. I knew you were going to say that.
Right.
You dog. You dog. Look at you, man.
If you want to learn more and do your own. Good morning, Espino.
There we go. Yeah, that sounds better. But see, you've got to be careful with the live format, haven't you, Carl? I've realised this.
With what you say. Right. Yeah, you do actually. So far, so good. Cheers, mate. Have a wonderful.
Thank you very much. Lovely to see everyone. Speak to you soon. Right? Thanks, everyone.
I wasn't that taken with the Velo. On that note, cheers, mate. Have a great weekend.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Right, there he goes. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Handing over to Michael on the mornings that he'll be doing Good Morning Spain. Bobby O'Reilly, you'll be joining us soon, I hope. You've sent me quite the slideshow. This is amazing. So do feel free to join me when you're ready, Bobby. I imagine he's taking phone calls, maybe opening champagne. Not sure. Bon dia, morning greetings from a moist in the Minho, soon to be 56. Oh, okay, Fahrenheit. Wishing you all a happy Friday and a Winders weekend. What's that? A Winders weekend? A wonderful weekend, maybe? From Tony Time, man in the Minho. The Squire of the Shires is in. Bon dia, todos. Did you have a gondola ride in Aveiro, Pam? All joking aside, I really like Aveiro. And we've got your, if you didn't go on one of the moliceiros, I think they're called, one of the, the boats in Aveiro, we've got your picture from the water here in Lisbon. If I can find it here. It looks to me like you're in a restaurant rather than on a boat here. Let me just, there's a lot been sent in on 913-590-303 as we make our way towards the weekend, putting the sex into sexta-feira here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Great news. Oh, iconic, fantastic picture of the 25 de Abril bridge there. Thank you very much, Pam, indeed, for that, which takes us very nicely towards the capital. And on the other side of that river there, where we'll find Bobby O'Reilly this morning. So let's get the screen right, there we go, and give him a nice big round of applause. Good morning to you, Bobby. Great to see you.
You too, buddy. Long time.
How are you? How are you? You had a busy 24 hours, haven't you?
Busy couple of months, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why we haven't seen you, right? You have been very busy, and I see under your name there something called Vista Bay Sejal. What's been going on? What can you tell us?
Yeah, so actually for about 2 years now, we've been working on a new project to basically bring to market. But like it was a pretty complex deal with
Yeah.
a lot of things going on between banks and the municipality, etc., and so on and so forth. So so yesterday we signed the contracts and we did the deal.
Wow.
And actually, I got out of the notary's office at I think 11:45 last night.
Did you?
Yeah, and we'd been there since 6 o'clock yesterday. So
So
we bought 44 allotments of 10 buildings that have expired. And you'll say, well, why would you buy that? Because basically it's on 40,000 square meters of land that's on waterfront in Seychelles. And now basically what we do is we have to resubmit a brand new master plan to develop 89,000 square meters of residential property.
wow.
So quite a big project.
Yeah, because some people might say Haddad de Mayo is quite a big project.
It
And
is
we
a big
would,
project.
it is, isn't it? But it's like some people might say that's enough, isn't it? You know, any developer might be quite happy with that. How many times bigger is this new project than Haddad de Mayo?
It equates to around between, depending on the mix, but about 600 to 650 apartments.
Right. Okay. So nearly 10 times as big in terms of apartments. But there's more than just living space, isn't there? There's going to be a bit more than domestic.
Yeah, well, right now there's sort of a competition on between three of the largest architects in Portugal to come up with a concept
Really?
that they want to bring to the project, and we're very happy with all of them so far because they all get the idea of what we're trying to do. Again, we're going in with what we call the BREEAM system, which is sort of like a sustainable building system.
Yeah.
Again, make everything sustainable. But really, it's about building a whole new town centre in Seychelles. So where the plot is right in front of anyone who knows Seychelles. It's in front of the municipality building, the camera building there. And also what would have been the library and cultural centre, the courthouse. So it's right in front. It's where they have the big concert every year and everybody sits on the park. So basically, it encumbers all surrounding areas of the park. So the new project will be built around the park, but including into the park. If you know, we won't build in the park, but the park will be part of the amenities that will be.
Is it okay to show the picture to give people an idea? Yeah. Okay. All right. And all the pictures you sent me, they're okay for to be shown on screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at there. If you want to talk us through it.
If you can see where the red dot is, that's the Seychelles municipality there. So if you see where the green sort of little dot is, that's the park, and then it's the land either side of that. So at 40,000 square meters of land there, with the build-up area of up to 6 floors, and it's 89,000 square meters above ground and 30,000 square meters below ground. And the idea is to have no roads or no parking, etc. up. Everything will go under, and it's a falling site. So basically, it rises at a very high height and falling towards the water. But from, say, most of the floors, from the second floor, you will be able to see between the two bridges. So it's
really
frame Lisbon. You can actually see all of the river, and it frames the city right across. It's less than a 10-minute walk to the boat, which is 15 minutes into Lisbon itself. These are just concepts that we were looking at.
Yeah, fair enough. So you're in on the 15-minute city concept.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So the idea is to make modern living spaces, again, trying to do sustainability and affordability here, because there's a lot of things going on in Seychelles that the municipality have been working on. One of them is that you have a new polytechnic actually going to be built right next door to this project. Wow. You have 2 new hospitals, a private and a public hospital that's going to be built there as well, which will service the whole South Bank area.
Yes.
You have, believe it or not, next to Haddad de Mayo, you have a winter sports facility that's been built to entice Northern Europeans to come and train on like very, very high-end professional skiing, or not skiing, but
seriously.
Yeah. It's going on next to Haddad de Mayo, and we got it planning for a 50-bed hotel next to Herdad de Mayo as well.
Good heavens. Right. So much to say about this. This was also the time when you were going to take it a little bit easier, wasn't it?
I am.
Right, okay. So, right. I mean, this is extraordinary in so many ways. It's very bold and brave, isn't it, as a development project? Real cutting edge stuff. It's going to be. Why are you laughing?
It's terrifying.
So why? I mean, it sounds to me as well that you've been inspired by traveling the world. The idea of the the traffic going underneath, and then you come up into a pedestrianized human environment rather than an environment dominated by vehicles is a really good thing, I think. And it's quite unusual in Portugal as well, isn't it? We have learned to coexist with cars in Portugal, haven't we? In quite a good way, it has to be said. But it is great to maybe move on from that. We don't need to have our lives necessarily, not especially with your location there, with all the public transport and how you can bring everything around to where you live. It doesn't need to be like that anymore. So where did that inspiration come from for that lifestyle? That's from somewhere else in the world, right?
Well, it's happening in lots of places. Like Singapore, one of the main places that I sort of took inspiration from. I would nearly say future living, but really it's from a number of places. But the one thing I think that people are looking at now more than anything is environment, and what's around them and what makes them feel good. And
yes,
you're saying that, if you buy an apartment in a lovely building, but you're looking across at something that's old and decrepit and has to be renovated and so on.
Yes.
The guy living in that building has a better view than you have.
Yes, yeah, and an incredible appreciating asset as well as it falls down. Yeah.
So the idea is to create an environment that everyone can be proud of. That's not just living in the area, but around the area, and it adds value again from a lifestyle point of view, because we want to create a mix here that's not just residential, but also it brings something to the town from the point of view, because there is the colleges, the new polytechnic, and the medical centres, the new medical hospitals probably will have medical clinics and things like this, student accommodation, affordable accommodation, again, because of the affordability factor. Again, I blame the government for that, because it's not the lack of houses, it's the lack of salaries, correct?
Yes.
In Portugal. And how would you say? So really, we're looking at it from a global point of view, but trying to encapsulate something that will sort of suit most people.
Yeah.
But has a completely different environment than anything that exists currently.
Yes.
And because we have so much space, we have an awful lot to work with. So this is where the real work starts now, is in the design, the end user ability, the facilities that will incorporate to enhance the living experience, not just for the people who will live in these residences, but in the current residents that are around Seychelles as well. And Seychelles, for me, I love it. I absolutely love Seychelles. I fell in love with Seychelles a long time ago. And this plot has been, every time I pass it, I was like, I could never understand how it was never utilized to its potential. And now you understand that there was a lot of intrinsic things that would have happened in the past and so on and so forth. So basically, for 2 years, we've been working through this. And then, as I said last night, we were able to get it sorted out,
Yeah, and there's that lovely picture of you holding up one of the many pieces of paper there. Yeah, you do look somewhat relieved, which I'm sure you are at that point there. So congratulations on getting it this far. And it's interesting you saying that, you couldn't understand why something hadn't happened there before. Sometimes it takes the new eyes, doesn't it? And I think you've got a bit of a knack for that, seeing a beautiful potential there that people, the local people will have lived and grown up there. They might not have seen it in quite the same way as you. And you saw, it's going to be called, the project is called Vista Bay, is it?
Correct.
Okay.
Company, we set up a special, what they call an SA company, which actually at this stage brings in investors that want to invest into the project, to buy shares within the project, and they can be part of the project itself. So it's not like you have to buy units or whatever it is. So it's an SA company of which people are invited from the 1st of February to the 31st of March, what we call the B class shares.
Yeah.
And then from the 31st of March to, I think it's the end of April, there'll be a C class share, which have different values, because the actual the deed will be done on the 28th of April. So we've done what we call the CPCV now, which is the promissory contract,
Yeah.
which basically is the how would you say, security of the project.
Yes.
Now we bring in the investors, which there's many of, who will come in on the first tranche and then the second tranche. That gives us, we then start the planning process. Within 18 months, we hope to have the full planning and PIP and ready to roll onto site to start the construction straight away, and to build it out within 3 to 4 years completely.
Well, that's interesting because he was asking what's the completion date. Ian, Coach Turner, has estimated it as a 10 to 15-year program. So it's going to be quicker than that.
Yeah, the reason behind it, because the longer it is, the more costly it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
And also, the more open you are to issues with regarding to market fluctuations and so on and so forth. So the idea is to build it, sell it, price it that it'll sell faster, and build it faster. So we're not like trying to cream every inch of, how would you say, profit out of it. The idea is to create something that people will want to see the value, understand the value, and that we can build it straight away. But also, like this, you're talking value-wise, you're looking at around 250 million euros as an immediate investment into Seychelles.
Yeah.
And then, if you like, between the sales values and so on, you're looking at, I don't know, anywhere north of 500, 600 million euros.
Right.
And people are going to give out to me now, but I was just adding up in my head last night. That's over 100 million euros in taxes to the government. So
well done, Bobby.
Yes. Claims to me,
yeah,
just paid 100 million euros to the Portuguese government.
You're going to need a T-shirt, I think, aren't you? You can just turn around, you know, with the numbers on the back. It's going to be like a tour T-shirt, but it's going to have numbers on it, an accounting T-shirt instead. Yeah, for anyone who wants to give you a hard time about that. Fantastic open space in the middle of Montpellier. So yeah, I think people are really getting the concept with all the parking under the plaza. Pam saying there's lots of underground park. Of course there is. Much of Portugal is underground. It's an extraordinary country in that respect with all the car parking. But I think you're finessing this to a new level, aren't you? It's a very different built environment on top of the car parking.
Yeah, there's a lot of development still to go into the concept, to be honest, because our first priority was to secure it. And the second priority now is to basically design the functionality of it as well. But we have 30,000 square meters of construction underground.
Yes,
available, which will include parking, but also can include other facilities that I haven't thought of yet. That's why we're having the different architects put forward their concepts with regards to how they envisage and so on, and then we'll pick an architect that we believe has that comes closest to what we envisage as well. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a lot of underground area, but like what we don't want is interruption through the green areas.
Yeah. Because
you have a lovely park there at the moment, and you have one side is very highly elevated. As I said, you can see all of Lisbon, you can see all of the river framed between the two bridges. And
love that.
I want to have that sort of peace and tranquility. There'll probably be some like sort of nice streetscape of outside restaurants, but it'll be pedestrian only.
Yeah.
The idea is to create a new center for the town, because it's the town center. It's just outside the older village area and so on. But the idea is to create a whole new town center, not a commercial town center, but a town center that has the facilities to entertain the people that will live within that vicinity.
Yeah, it sounds respectful. It sounds like respectful development, rather than a massive imposition. And what another win for Margin Sul, right? And great. I mean, I remember going there with you and seeing the water, seeing the light twinkling on the water there, on the what must have been the old dock area. It feels a little bit like Matosinhos as well to me. It's got somewhat industrial and all villagey as well. What a lovely thing for Sejal. It's incredible what you've seen there and what you'll be bringing to it. So congratulations. I'm really chuffed as well that you shared the news with us so fresh. A bit of a scoop for Good Morning Portugal on this Friday morning as we complete the first month of 2025. So thanks, Bobby, and all the best with it. And if we can track your progress on the show, we would love to. And bringing us back into the sort of practicalities of family life here, Lorna O'Reilly is here. Good morning, Carl. Will you tell my little brother I'm still waiting for the coffee we were meant to go for on Wednesday? Oh, come on, give him a break, Lorna. You've been a bit busy, haven't you, to be fair, Bobby, right?
A little bit. I was more worried about the flight home. The plane did 2 loop-to-loops and I thought it was part of the Red Arrows on the way home.
Really?
So bad. Oh, God. It's so long since I heard everyone clap on the plane. When it
Really?
landed.
You do a lot of flying as well. It was scary, was it?
Yeah, no, it was terrible. Yeah, it was
Right.
brutal. Going out and coming back, it was very bad. Yeah.
All right.
We need to get ones with springs or something. I don't know, but
the coach is opening Google Maps now to have a look at Seychelles. How does he and other people put their name down on a waiting list for interest? How do you subscribe to this idea?
Well, there's going to be a lot of stages. The first stage is going to be what we call the onboarding of the shareholders. And there, basically, people can contact me directly at Bobby at uhp.pt, which is Your Home Portugal, but just sort of shortened. Bobby at uhp.pt. Yeah. And basically, we have what they call a memorandum of prospectus, which we'll send out. It explains everything. It's quite complex. It was very complex for me, so it was because it was designed by people who designed these things. Yes. So it obviously has to be explained to what I would say the layman who's not used to this kind of thing. But really, it's becoming part of the development team. So you become a co-owner of the actual project, and you will benefit from the the dividends that will come out of the company as well, because it's such a big project. Yeah, we need to bring in investors, and we have a lot of investors standing by. And actually, I've even had investors that wanted to take it all. Saying that we'll give you all what you want.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
but I don't want to do that. I have a lot of investors that have been investing with me throughout the years, and for me, they get first grab, and then I prefer to do it with people that I know rather than people that I don't know. Yeah. And what I mean that is that if you take in a fund or something like this into this, it's fine and it'll work. But I want to bring along the people who have invested with me over the years as well. Yeah. I want that chance to sort of, because this is by far the biggest and the best project that I've seen to date. When I walked onto the site originally, I thought it was a viable proposition. I just couldn't. I fell in love with it. I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was dreaming about it. My building's already built in my head and so on. Yes. But I was speaking to a guy. He's from Berlin. He's an Irish guy living in Berlin, but he runs a big fund in Berlin, a property fund in Berlin. And he says to me, "Are you going to sell it? And are you going to build it?" And I said, "Well, my intention is to build it. And that's always my intention, is to build it. Now, if somebody comes along when I have all the planning and makes me a stupid offer, then we look twice at it. My intention is to build it." But then he said something. He said, "Many a man who stuck the shovel in the ground, but he was only digging his own grave."
That is so Irish, isn't it?
And I went, "Thanks for that."
Yes. Like, okay, that's something to think about, right? Okay.
But no, I'm not afraid of the project, to be honest with you. Like, I believe the people will buy into the vision of what's there. The numbers all add up. It really comes down to numbers, and the numbers add up. Yeah. There's a lot of work between now and the next 18 months to get everything on board. But we have now a new team just directly for this project.
Yes.
Outside of Herdad de Maya, because that's still ongoing. And also we have 3 new projects starting this year that team will concentrate on. But there's a whole new team coming in.
What a year it's going to be then for Bobby O'Reilly and Associates and team. Thank you so much for sharing this news with us. Mel saying, "Bom dia, Seychelles is one of the prettier towns of the Margin Sul." Complaining about the ferry service, but I mean, it's all about the population. I'm sure you're going to make an impact on that, Bobby, as you lift Seychelles' appeal. I imagine they'll be laying on a few more ferries, and what a wonderful thing that would be to go from Seychelles on a ferry across the water between the bridges and into the capital on the other side of the water. It's amazing. It's amazing. The vision you've got there. So we've heard that lovely Irish wisdom from your Berlin man there. And you've shared this wonderful vision and a mission with us this morning for Seychelles. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Are you going to have a nice quiet one?
One thing I wanted to say is that our show houses, the showrooms, we'll have 2 houses finished in March of Herdad de Mayo.
Yes.
one house shows it as you get it,
Yeah.
and the other one shows it renovated and decked up and what have you as well. So in March, I don't know the exact date, but probably closer to the end of March, after St. Patrick's Day, there'll be 2 houses that are available for people who've already bought and people who are still thinking of buying to come and see Herdad de Mayo. Herdad de Mayo were open 7 days a week still, and people can come down and see the project. We have the showroom there, etc. as well. So anyone who's interested, don't forget we still have Herdad de Mayo.
Absolutely, yes.
By the way, we have the 2. One is 8 large detached villas, 320 square meter villas, and then we have another 8 semi-detached villas that are starting this year as well, with an 18-month turnaround.
Incredible. So lots going on. Congratulations once again. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mel. It's one of the lovelier things to do in Lisbon. The ferry ride is very underrated. Crossing the water is brilliant, and being the sight of the 2 bridges and everything. And Bobby, you're adding to this whole vibe, the vibe of the Margem Sul and life here in Lisbon. So yeah, great to hear the announcement. Vista Bay, everybody in Seychelles. Are you gonna have a quiet and celebratory weekend, Bobby?
My wife is in London. She abandoned me for this celebration, so I'm minding my 2 boys.
Well, have a great weekend, and look forward to seeing you soon and doing another show, a live show again from Herdad de Mayo. Really love to see the progress there as well. Well done, mate. Take care. Bye for now. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Take care, and bye for now. Ciao, ciao.